Yogis, namaste. Welcome back to your practice. Happy to have you here today. I've got a couple stretches that may be beneficial to alleviate any form of discomfort or maybe some form of tightness into your lower back. Okay, so we're going to be doing our practice reclined today, and if you have a blanket or some sort of padding that you could place underneath your tailbone, that will be nice and cushiony for your body. Okay, so as and when you're ready, we'll go ahead and lie down onto our mats. We'll do all our poses on our backs today. Okay, so just allowing for a gentler practice, allowing for a sense of recovery, sense of healing here. Now, if you have your blanket, you can lift your hips, slide the blanket underneath your tailbone so that you can rest your body down with padding underneath your hips. Okay, once you're here, you could keep your feet stepping onto the mat. You could extend your legs out like you're coming into Shavasana. So wherever you may land, finding a sense of ease throughout the physical body from the crown of the head all the way down to your 10 toes. Okay, so just give yourselves a moment here. Before we come into our 3 or so different stretches, I'd like you to just check in with your body. Notice how you feel. And pay attention to the back body, the parts that are in contact with your mat and the parts that are in contact with your blanket. Higher chances are that you clicked on this video because perhaps you're needing a little bit of support, a little bit of assistance to release some of the tension that you're feeling. Okay, so just for this moment, observe the body. Take about 3 or 4 breaths. You can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, just anything that feels comfortable. Give yourselves another 2. And just one more gentle breath here. Okay, once you've kind of checked in with your body, you know where the sensations are. You can sort of feel into the body which parts are giving you a little bit more feedback or which parts are a little bit more prominent to you today. Okay, as we move through our stretches, it will be lengthening into the muscles. So at any point you need to modify or to release or to maybe explore different forms of stretch, feel free to go ahead, yeah? So these are just suggestions that will hopefully help to lengthen out the muscles in the areas that could feel a little tight today. Okay, so whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and step both feet onto the mat. Knees are upward to the ceiling. And this may allow for you to adjust the lower back longer, so tailbone is pressing down towards the heels. Okay, lengthening out into the back body. Take one breath here. Your feet are about hip width distance. Big inhale. And a slow exhale. Okay, we'll come into a figure 4 shape. So your hands can just be down by your side. Cross your right ankle over the left knee. Okay, finding a figure 4 position. Now, as you place your right ankle over the left knee, you'll have your toes a little bit active. It doesn't need to be super active, but you're spreading out your toes and you're thinking of moving the right knee away from your chest. Okay, doesn't need to be an intense external hip rotation, just enough to feel the relationship between the hips and the lower back. Okay, breathe here. Take another 3. Another 2, and give yourselves just one more breath. Now, keeping this figure 4 shape, but you can soften the foot a little more, you can soften the knee. We might start to lift the left foot away from the mat, so that means your knees start to point upward to the ceiling, or your knees might start to come down towards your chest. Okay, know that this is a great place to be. Anytime you need to release your hands, you can come right back here, or step your left foot down onto the mat again. Okay, if you're comfortable here with the left foot lifted off the mat, you might explore right hand threading underneath the right shin bone, and your left fingers will meet the right fingers at the back of your left thigh, finding an interlaced position. Now, if any of you start to feel a bit of discomfort around the shoulders here, maybe you start to feel that the shoulders are unable to relax, you can use a strap, okay, if you have it, or just keep your hands super light at the back of your thigh. You don't need to interlace the fingers too tightly. Okay, from here, you might be pulling the knees towards the chest even more, so that means tailbone might be lifting a little off the mat, but you'll have that active sensation of grounding down into the lower back. Okay, lower back stays pressing down onto the mat. Shoulders stay relaxed. Breathe here. You could be feeling your right glutes. You could be feeling the right outer hip. And this may or may not contribute to a sense of relief into the lower back. And as for now, just soften out. Breathing into the stretch. Pause and hold here, another 5. Pause and hold, another 4. 3 more breaths. Take your time. Last 2. And give it 1 more breath here. Biggest, slowest breath. Now if you have your hands interlaced, release the hands, rest them by the side of your body, and go ahead and step the left foot back down onto the mat. Okay, keep the figure 4 for a moment. Let the right knee peel away from the chest. And just pause here. You can soften the right foot so your toes are passive. Breathe here, inhale. And exhale. Okay, now this time I'd like you to cross your right knee fully on top of the left knee, as if you're sitting cross-legged, yeah, but in a lying down position. Now, because the knees are stacked one over the other, you could feel the inner thighs squeezing into each other. From here, press down into the left foot is onto the mat. Lift the hips off your blanket or your mat, and then pivot your hips towards the right, okay? So you're gonna move the hips out to the right just a little, so that you have space to drop the knees to the left side of your mat, coming into a spinal twist variation. Okay, so if you're here, you could start to feel that the right side body is lengthening out as the knees come down to the left of your mat. Okay, you can place your left hand on top of the right knee. Right hand could reach back behind you in line with your shoulder. You could gaze up to the ceiling, or you could turn the gaze towards the right shoulder. Okay, so if this feels a bit intense around the sacrum, which is the space just underneath the lower back, you could unhook the knees, yeah? So release the right knee crossing over the left, and then just place the knees side by side and coming into your twist on the left. Okay, if that previous version is okay, you will keep the hooking and the crossing of the knees, and then pause here. And once again, your chest is open towards the ceiling. You might start to feel a little bit more of release, hopefully, towards the lower back, and then downward towards the tailbone of the sacrum. Let's pause here for about 5. For another 4 easy breaths. Just 3 more. Final 2. And give yourselves one last slow, steady breath. Now simply release. We'll come back center. So draw the knees back up. Release the right knee crossing. Bring the hips through center. Okay, so you come back into a neutral spine. Then you can pause here with the feet stepping, or if you need a moment to straighten out the legs, you can come into your Shavasana. Okay, just finding that neutral position again before we switch over to the left side. Breathe here. Take about 2 slow breaths. Now let's give ourselves one more here. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and step both feet onto the mat again, about hip width distance apart. Now this time, you lengthen out your lower spine and cross your left ankle over the right knee. Okay, so we're switching our figure 4 onto the left side. Now a little bit of activation in the foot for now, and you might start to peel that left knee away from the chest. Okay, just a little bit of sensation here. You might be observing how this feels into the glutes, the outer hip, and then the lower spine as well. Breathe here in just a moment. Give yourselves maybe one more breath right here. And then we'll slowly start to soften that engagement into the hip and the foot. and start to lift right foot off the mat. Okay, so know your options. At any time you feel like releasing the right foot down onto the mat, know that you can, yeah? Always return to the previous variation. Now from here, let's explore lifting the right foot up. Knee starts to turn up to the ceiling and maybe start to get closer to the chest. You could pause right here. You could come back right here as well. Or you could start to take your left hand underneath the left shin, finding the right fingers behind the right thigh, coming into an interlace position. So once again, if you have a strap or something to hold in between the hands, or just to keep the interlace really soft, you can hold on to maybe just the edges of the thighs. Okay, that will do. Soften out the shoulders. Soften out the hips, but root down into the lower back. So don't let the whole spine lift off the mat. Okay, give yourselves a moment here. And then might start to notice maybe both hips may not feel completely the same. And this gives us information about our own bodies. And once you found your variation for this reclined figure 4, let's go ahead and pause for about 5 breaths. Take your time with every breath. 4 more here. Last 3 gentle breaths. Final 2. And let's give ourselves one last slow, steady breath. If you have your hands in an interlace, start to release. Release the right foot back down onto the mat. Okay, pause here first. Once again, you might give some space between your lower body and the upper body, so the knee peels away from the chest. And when you're ready for it, we'll cross left knee on top of the right knee. So inner thighs squeezing in together again. And once you're ready, ground down into the right foot, lift the hips off the mat, slide the hips to the left just a little, maybe an inch or 2. And then exhale, we'll come down to the right, okay? Both knees dropping down to the right side of the mat. And this time we're twisting to the right. You can place your right hand on top of your knee, left hand reaching back behind you. And we're just keeping the shoulder blades soft on the mat. So we're keeping the chest open to the ceiling. Once again, if this feels a little intense into the outer hip or into the sacral area, you can release the crossing of the knees and just have them one over the other. Okay, so find your option for your twist. Once you're settled in your variation, let's go ahead and breathe here. 5 gentle breaths. Give yourselves another 4. Take another 3. Last 2. And just one final breath here. Now after your 5th breath, begin to unravel, coming back center. Release the crossing of the knees, adjust the body back neutral. Then once again, option to straighten out the legs. Okay, just creating space, top of your thighs. Breathe here, allowing for about 2 slow breaths. Now from here, let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. Give yourselves a hug for a moment. You might rock a little side to side. Okay, as you rock side to side, you might experiment with circling out at the knees. So you're moving through the entire low spine here. Okay, and then switching direction of the circles. Just noticing the feet back. You can switch again one more time. And switch it one last time. Okay, returning center. Now separate the knees, separate the feet, grab hold of the feet from the inside, coming into a happy baby. Okay, so knees are bent a lot, your hands are on the inner arches of the feet. And you're going to press the lower spine down. Take the heels up to the ceiling, toes spreading out to the sides of your mat. Okay, so just awareness into the lower spine. Your butt is not lifted off the mat. You're grounding down. And you can use your hands to guide the hips down to the mat. Okay, from here you could stay in a static hold, just feel into the sensations, or maybe a gentle rock side to side. Okay, just getting into the little nooks and crannies of the lower back. 3 slow breaths. Last 2. And 1 final breath here. Eventually returning through center. Bring the knees back into the chest. Hug yourselves one last time. Exhale, release, come into your Shavasana. Let 2 feet extend all the way to the front of your mat. Let the shoulders rest, the hands splay open by the side of your body. And then go ahead and take rest here. You can close your eyes, giving yourselves a moment in Shavasana. And it is in this moment where you might notice perhaps there is some form of relief into the body. Maybe you're feeling a bit of warmth or tingling sensation. And wherever you are, just allowing for the body to soften fully down onto the mat. Muscles are passive, body heavy. Now, yogis, I will leave you here for the rest of your practice. Feel free to stay as long as you may need to here, just letting the body rest. And I will see you in the next. Namaste.